Hello and welcome to episode 6 of our Timberborn 1.1 Timberpunk 2 playthrough, Cycle 6, Day 1. Before we start, let's hit pause and take a look at a couple of things you guys suggested in the comments. First of all, yes, or I guess rather no, I did not have the gatherer flag set up anywhere near here to gather berries, and I also don't have a lumberjack flag to gather these pine trees when those grow in. That was not a concern when we're running around with chickens with our heads cut off prioritization. But now that, things aren't completely terrible, I think it is time to pop in one of these. I just have to find a decent spot for it, and I was honestly thinking of putting stuff up on top of here and making that a somewhat viable option here. But these are free to place. They don't cost anything, so we can always move it later. Not a big deal at all. Let's just put a gatherer flag right here so they can get started getting these berries so we can replenish our supply and keep the beavers coming because we are still very, very, very low population. Another thing, surprising amount of people thought this was a bad idea putting the single levee here instead of building a bunch of them somewhere else. This was a time crunch scenario solution, not a permanent thing. Obviously, this is going to get removed, and we're going to have to put in additional levees somewhere else. This is literally just to keep that water in place for that one period of time. And this is still dormant. We don't know when this is going to go off. So this is going to be totally fine until such a time as we need to move it. And at that point, it's not going to be an issue. We have much bigger fish to fry at the moment. Next. More stuff about this unstable core. It's 111 days. Which I guess theoretically maximum cycle length could be, after we get off the training wheels, so to speak, could be only 3.5 cycles. But it's cycle 6. This 111 days to have this explode is basically eternity at this point in a playthrough that is, I don't know, how many times now have I thought that this was going to be completely over within even just the last 2 episodes? A lot. 111 days of time is so much in terms of production. So I'm not going to worry about moving this stuff out of here anytime soon. I need this to work so we can get somewhere instead of trying to make everything perfect the first time around. That being said, a surprising amount of support for removing these natural overhangs when the bad water is gone, to be perfectly clear, and getting down here to rescue all of these gears and then seal off these tunnels so that it doesn't get bad water under here whenever everything drains out. Because right now, if we had extra bad water flushing through here, then it just has a path right off the edge of the map. And then, of course, it can get back to areas like this. But I think it would not be a bad idea to come down here and just clear all this stuff out. Put a levee or something right, I guess would have to be right about here. And then just let some of the extra bad water drain because the volume is only going to increase. We know this. So I think at some point, if we get a longer drought that we can, actually survive in, I'm probably going to do that. I did want to check because when I had this all the way down, I did see that this traces back to here and this is daylighted. So yeah, so that comes out right about here. We would need to block this off to prevent bad water from coming in. Not a huge immediate concern, but again, something we will need to take into account at some point in time. But just to, make it so it's not a complete horrible disaster when that does happen, I will place this here so that we will know that we actually thought about this, and it will just need to have a path brought out to it. We'll have to get them down here because that's the only way they're going to be able to build this. And yeah, that's the only spot I can put that and put a single levee in, which again, for time purposes, is going to be the best thing for us to do. Material cost, I'm not really that worried about. So we know that's going to be a thing. We know that's going to be a massive help. Making sure that this does not get pollution under it so we can grow more stuff is going to be good. We can get this aquifer hooked up. But again, all these things are, at this point, super long term. And secondary to just surviving and making sure the beavers don't all die. I do think it's going to be very important soon to get this fixed up. Again, the bad water seep can be pretty easily defeated if we can get through here. And when the bad tide comes in, or not bad tide, the drought comes in, whichever one's next, I think once this drains, this would be a great priority project, because that would also give us access to all of this stuff here, which is a whole bunch of bad water, some more gears, some metal blocks, which are going to be invaluable, and a freshwater aquifer. Love to see that. This is terrifying. I don't know when this is going off, and I'm worried it's going to be a very, very short fuse when it does. But we will just have to get there when we get there. And if we have this flushing out, then that's going to make it a lot easier to deal with this, and especially if we don't have extra bad water coming from here. There's natural overhangs here that we can remove to kind of drain this out, and that would be the same network as all of this. We would just want to make sure that we're not draining good water out, which brings me to the next thing that people suggested, which was to kind of separate this water seep and the bad water seep. It's some degree of contaminated, probably substantially contaminated, but there is some good in there. And one of the new things in 1.1, compact mechanical pump, also can be used as a filtering device. It does take 700 HP. This takes 500 now, the regular deep one. But this one is cool because we could actually build an aqueduct only for clean water, and this would only suck the clean water out of this area and move it wherever we wanted. Obviously super far off, not even close to getting to it for a very long time, maybe not ever in this playthrough, depending on how things go. But I did want to let you know that I was thinking about that. Outside of that, a couple people requested we take a little bit more of a look around the map for immediate threats on bad water intrusion, and I thought we'd already done, you know, a decent enough amount of that, but I will humor you, and we will take a look at some of these other stuff. That's not how that goes. We do have bad tide drains here in this big, I guess you'd call this a cavern, and a lot of oak trees, which are great to get wood. But there's so much bad water in here, I kind of don't want to send beavers in unless, you know, we have adequate treatment available, which can take a while. But this would be a great thing to come in and take care of, getting a whole bunch of wood, and then, depending on how much we want to cheese things, we can block these bad tide drains in pretty easily with a decent amount, that's the wrong one, decent amount of levees, and some overhangs when we get to that amount of science. Outside of that, I don't think there's any other way for stuff to get inside that cavern minus this opening here and this down here, which again is part of this whole drain network. So, you know, a lot of stuff to consider with that. Moving forward, we do have this crater here that was created by one of the unstable core explosions. Again, that drains out this way. So, honestly, I feel like things are okay. From this area, we already talked about this a little bit, but just in case you forgot, there's a bad water source here. If this is not active, this is pretty dry, and this does drain in a couple of different directions. If we're able to cap this, that would be tremendously helpful. This is also a drain here. Outside of that, other stuff getting into here, thank you, autosave. We have this thing spilling in, which all of that is coming from down here, which is coming from down here, which is coming from down here, which is ostensibly coming from this bad water source. And then there's this other one up here that is coming from above. We kind of already talked about some of that stuff. I don't think there's anything else up here contributing, at least not yet. So again, these things, they take so much time, so much more time and resources than it's even worth thinking about right now. But when we get the resources to do these, you better believe, well, if we're still around, that we're going to go around and take care of all of those things. This is going to dry up. This, again, is connected to this entire drain network. If we block this off, which, you know, actually thinking about it might be better sooner rather than later, that's just going to end up being more, well, it's not free real estate. We will have earned it. But it's going to help. Obviously, the big existential threat is the enormous radius of this unstable core. And yes, as somebody pointed out, this will connect our little pool here to here, unless we manage to also seal this off, which we take a look at these red X things. all we'd really need to do is put in a levee here, and a levee here, and that would prevent that from happening. So if we go ahead and preset... Ah! Well, that's not going to work now, is it? I'm going to remove that, but I'm going to leave this here paused so that we remember that something is here. Or at least I'll come back in a future episode and go, what the heck was I doing with this? And then I'm sure someone will remind me about that. But I think that's probably about all we really need to be concerned with at this exact moment. I know there's other things that are still going to activate and potentially come in here, but until that is a thing, we don't know when it's going to happen. You guys might know, but I'd prefer to be surprised by it because I feel like that's the more authentic way of playing the game, even if it is more frustrating to watch. That is what I prefer to do. We have this in 19 days. I do not think it will take 19 days to build all this. We already talked about the 111 days there. And then that is basically all we can do. So I'm going to unpause. We need to make sure that the beavers who can do the requisite work are actually employed. I think since this is going there, I've already got those deprioritized, so that's fine to leave. We have all this water, but I think it's going to be to our benefit to just have pumping going on anyway. This reserve tank needs to be emptied. Obviously, we don't have haulers yet. We will, but we don't need to be bringing water up here because that's a really, really long way. And obviously, we want to keep them focused on the task at hand down here. And we have some cassava still in range, yes. Ready to be harvested. They are working on that slowly, but they're working on it. We don't have any that is available to be fermented at this exact moment in time, but we do have a stock of 85, which, while not a lot, is currently enough. Just got to keep on keeping on. I really, really want to get these berries harvested, so let's actually... I always forget they swap these. Let's get this construction site prioritized. I've got my 2 beavers working here as builders. They should be able to take care of that. I'm excited for this to dry up because that actually should be pretty soon. I see it pulling away from there. Got water down here. And we can start thinking about utilizing this area for more farming, which is going to be very, very important. But as you know, it all takes time. Remember what I said a couple of moments ago about wanting to get this levee in place sooner rather than later? Well, maybe not the best idea to use these resources at this exact moment in time, but we are going to need to at some point. So I will start by putting a staircase here. Now, I'm not going to send the beavers down into this while it's still bad water. That is obviously a horrible idea. But we want to make sure that we can keep everything accessible and keep it in the forefront of our minds. Alright. Gathering the berries. Hopefully they don't eat them and instead put stuff here. The cries of the masses about 16-hour working days being better than 18 hours, I'm going to probably always disagree from a productivity standpoint of actual jobs. But from the standpoint of getting these breeding pods refilled, it does make sense to reduce the working hours. So let's let them do that. We've already got one mostly refilled. Get through the rest of the night. Well-being increasing also is going to be a very important thing for us to do, yes, but I don't even have to say it. You already know. Somebody did make mention of the wet fur bonus being something that doesn't require a shower. You can just have them path through water. And yes, that is very true. However, we don't exactly have a lot of clean water for them to path through, so that's not something that I'm really worried about at this exact moment. Just need to be able to do what we have to do. Alright, so this is dry. You know what? They haven't started building this yet, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to instead keep this in our minds. But we have water here, and we have water here. We can come down into this area to grab this water. We don't need to have a tank at the bottom here, so we can break that down. We can get some of the scrap metal and start reclaiming this area. This is never going to be an issue because this is a seep that's blocked off. But again, this is going to be a problem, so need to figure out how we want to handle this. We're obviously going to use this aquifer at some point, assuming we manage to make it that far. But I believe probably going to make the most sense to send a beaver squad down. Yeah, I don't really have a great spot here. Let's just do this. That seems like the most convenient location. Then that'll give me access to this plateau here, and then I'll get down here, and we can connect. Come on, click when I ask you to, please. And we can get that removed. And, you know, 66 water is not a lot, but it kind of is. Kind of is. So, yes, I hear you. We need a hauling post. We are currently just about ready to build it in terms of supplies. I know I just placed down a couple stairs which are going to use those. But let's get this popped in a spot where we cannot grow anything else, because it really doesn't matter where this is. Grand scheme of things. I will prioritize building this just so we can, you know, get something accomplished there. Gather is doing gathering things. That's fine. These are all coming in at once. I don't exactly have enough beavers to speed gather all of these, but it's fine because we're not eating those. Or at least we shouldn't be eating those. Gear workshop is another important thing, but it's not the most important thing. There's plenty of other stuff to do. I'm going to let this just continually fill things up. We are pumping, which is good, but the storage capacity being 600 is a little deceptive, because that's really only 300 here, and then whatever storage is in this. I don't want them bringing stuff up here, because it's really far away. So we will want to build more. We also have a storage here, which is, you know, still kind of far away, but it's fine. We have logs available. We have corn available. And we do have some metal available. Remember, our ultimate goal, at least for the time being, is getting corn going with the food factory, which requires 300 science. That won't take that long. But what will take a long time is getting 10 metal blocks. If we turn on view mode here, we've got somewhere, I forget exactly where it was, there were some metal blocks available. 7 of them there. But 7 plus 2 is 9, which is less than 10. I can't do that math. So we do still need to build a smelter, even if we could get back in here. We will get there. I know there's, like, you know, 14 over here, blah, 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 but I don't even have to say it. You already know. Okay, working on that. Should just let them probably take care of what they can do. I know this is like the super, super important thing to get done. They do have all the planks there. There's going to have to be 6 there. They'll reach it in due time. Then that's going to be fine. Again, we have 18 days. Gonna be okay. So let's speed through the rest of the night here. We had some nice spacing on these when they were all active, and now I worry that's not really going to be a thing anymore. 79... 20, okay, that's 82. Okay, so, it's okay. Not great, but okay. This, of course, is paused because I can't get in here yet. I think water-wise, you know, it may actually behoove me to have this be just a single beaver pumping, because we do still have 200 some, but honestly, I kind of don't want to mess with it. I just need them to start emptying this. So we've got all the planks done. That is good, because we need to keep making planks for other things. Logs are coming in. Now, there are probably a couple of good arguments to be made pretty soon about planting trees beyond just this. And now that we have this able to be filled up a little bit more, I think I'm pretty comfortable planting some more pine trees. I do want to leave space for a path, in case that becomes an issue. Obviously, this is going to have to maybe be modified a little bit. Put another couple things here and move those stairs. Maybe I should leave the consumption of planks alone, but long term. Okay, this needs to be paused, because that's now entering flood territory. We'll probably automate this at some point, assuming, again, we can make it that far. But I do want to make sure that I plant some trees while we still can. Again, going to leave this open here, leave a path. And, you know, the space is available. Might as well use it. Just leave enough of a path there to be good. Come around the back side here. And we also want to make sure we can use this. But for right now, this should be... Okay, this is out of the range. We want to get rid of that. Not that it matters, but just want to make sure that I'm not being completely obtuse with as much of this as I can be. Yeah, the way this is set up now, it's probably overkill to put berries back here, but I don't ever want to be caught proverbially with my pants down, or literally with it, but I think it's important to make sure that there's absolutely no possible way things can go horribly wrong. I've got decent amount of berry storage. Where was the... Ah, that's metal part storage. That should probably be moved. That's for logs. Where is my berry storage? And I'm not counting this. Okay, because that is flooded. For the safety of the beavers, I'm going to remove that. See, the problem is we got so much stuff going on. Ah, okay, it's over here. Just need to stay on top of everything. Alright, did we build here? No, we did not. I think they're still working on this. Yes. That is fine. I told them to do that. They need to do that. I do have my one hauler beaver, who hopefully, yes, is working on getting that emptied. And maybe, once we get some more adult beavers, we can up this. Might actually make more sense to just up it now. But I did pull a beaver out to start planting stuff in the forester. How far away are we from having harvestable trees? We've got about another 4 days. Yeah, we're going to need... And this is, you know, this is a good use case for a couple of platforms here. So I can do something like putting in a lumberjack flag. That would actually not be a terrible spot for one, assuming I'm going to move stuff elsewhere. For right now, this is fine. Again, just going to keep this open. Making a decent amount of power. I know they're still working on this. That's going to get these things connected, and this isn't powering anything. It's going to be okay. I promise. Yeah, I just need the more beavers. Just need more beavers. I need to keep the 2 builders there. These are unoccupied, which is... Yeah, it's fine, I suppose. Really is going to be a smart idea to get these overhangs started sooner rather than later. Somebody made mention of putting in a clutch, which, again, we don't have the science for, but to automatically, or I guess we could automate it, but to disengage this thing so it's not going to be, you know, running during a drought or a bad tide. I'm pretty sure these don't consume power during droughts or bad tides anyway. If I am wrong on that, I'm sure that will be corrected. But for now, I think it's alright. We've got logs and cassava on the ground. Might as well go ahead and get those picked up. I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 on picking up stuff from the ground when it's not mission critical, because I have the, you know, habits of the old versions of the game where it didn't decay and it just sits there. But I need to be reminded that things are, in fact, going to go away. And we've got a decent amount of wood here available. I just haven't really felt like it's worth sending the beavers over here to get a couple logs when we have mission-critical construction occurring. But, you know, 16 days is 16 days. That's more than enough time to get that built, even though it's I mean, it's not far away. It's far enough away to be a little bit of an issue. So water is still fine. How's this guy doing up here? Okay, this is like the world's absolute slowest hauling occurring. Yeah. Well, you know, carrying logs is kind of important to get things supplied. That is very much a thing. And this guy now is going to be going probably to bed. It's almost the end of the workday. Where are you going? Okay. No, you're still on the job. Now you're going to bed. Or you're going to go sit in the campfire instead of going to bed. Go to bed. Sheesh. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I told you guys to do that. That's okay. You are allowed to do that, and that is perfectly fine. Okay, so, dawn of day 5, we get the 7-day drought, or 7-day temperate cycle. Look, I'm tired. So in the next 2.9 days, we should try to wrap up most of the stuff constructing, improving around here, so we can focus on getting beavers into the tunnel to prepare it for drainage. Cycle 6, we've had, what, 2 bad tides now? 1 or 2 bad tides, I can't remember exactly. But chances are the droughts, in comparison, are going to start to get in the, what, like 10 to 15 day range. Probably maybe a little tiny bit longer than that. So that is going to be enough time for us to have a decent shot of getting some stuff cleaned up down here, over here, and maybe over here. But that also means a drought of that length is going to require a lot of water to be stored, and most importantly, pumped out. So, I don't want to pull them away from this any more than I already have, because I have them, you know, gathering these logs, which is good because we do need those logs, and we don't have a lot of trees that are going to be, you know, good cutting density. These are all 1 log each, which, hey, that's great, but faster to just pick these up, and also they're going to go away. So who can I steal? I need them to keep planting. This obviously is not going to be continuously irrigated, and there is a good chance that the trees I plant may die, some of them. These have a drought resistance of 13 days, and right now that's probably about, I would say with like 90% confidence, it's not likely we have a drought that's much longer than that. It's possible, but it's not super likely. And this isn't going to be completely down to this first layer of depth anyway at the start of the drought. So these are probably safe. I'll tell you one thing we can probably do is take this down to a single beaver. That will help us out just a tiny bit. Need to keep going on the fermented cassava. This is probably a scenario where it makes more sense now to harvest. And just to get these things out, focus obviously on the cassava. I unfortunately don't have the extra manpower to get those guys on. I need them to stay pumping. In fact, I probably should have a 3rd beaver pumping. And see, I really want to be careful what I do and do not pause. I need to have that guy, and that also helps these things run. I need to have the builders. I don't really need to have the forester planting, but the faster I plant these trees and these blueberry bushes, the faster I get stuff from them. I have 104 berries. I think it's okay to pause the gatherer flag, at least for a little bit. Just trying to make this as min-maxed as I can. This is not a big priority. It's already deprioritized. And yeah, they still haven't come back over here, but I'm not worried about it yet. I say, as I've talked about it for like the 18th time. Oh, these guys. These guys way out here. I think I can, you know, take them off the job. That gives me 1 extra beaver, which I could do an extra builder, or I could do an extra hauler. I think for what our immediate needs are, it probably makes sense to have another builder, since I'm picking these things up off the ground. So I will do that. Now, we do still have at least 1 beaver in the inventors, which actually we've got 2 of them, so I'll tell you what. 4 builders. Now that I reset the ranking in the -2 hierarchy, that's going to be fully staffed. We still have 1 here. And probably going to go ahead and get that 2nd beaver in here. We can turn these off. We don't have any super critical science needs, at least compared to the just survival bit. Going to get that turned on because it doesn't have to be manually operated. It just goes 24/7. I want to keep this right on the verge of flooding basically until the start of the drought. Now that it's nighttime, we can get this sped up just a little bit. Just let them do what they got to do. Get these water levels as high as we can, both in the little reservoir and in our tanks. I know at some point this is going to become full, and they're going to have to start putting it in these other ones, but I want to keep that one at the very top as empty as I can. Alright, this is approaching full. It only took overnight to get like 1/3 of the block height in, so that seems like it's going to be okay. That, again, is not a huge priority at this exact moment. Getting these picked up. I got 7 days. But we will make use of this. That is a very good thing. And the sooner they get that done, the sooner they can come back to all of that. I am really excited to see how long this drought's going to be. And hopefully it's not too long, but hopefully it's long enough to get us enough time and space down here to take care of what we got to take care of. And you can't really future-proof with this, right? But you can make things better. And that's what counts. So these 9 flooded buildings, I'm pretty sure most of them are just down here and then in that cavern we already talked about. But, okay, I got that there. This reserve pile, I think, is down inside. Yeah. I just want to make absolutely sure there's no horrible surprises waiting for me. Okay, we already knew about that. Already knew about that. Yeah, I already knew about that. There. Okay, we're good. I am trying genuinely to be better about, you know, having a little bit of foresight here. But as you know, I don't have to say it, because you already know. Alright, they should be just about finished with this. Hopefully these kits grow up soon. Yeah, okay, not likely. 42 and 43%. It's at 89, 48, 9, and 50. Okay. I wonder if I should build some more of these. Because I don't want the population to grow too quickly, but I also absolutely must grow it. I think our farming isn't quite there to keep us ahead of things. All right. Let's just keep this rolling along. I don't know that there's really a ton I want to adjust before the start of this drought. But I need to make sure I'm continuously monitoring this. I just need them to be grabbing these cassava out of the ground. That is like the most important thing. Outside of all the construction we already talked about. Alright, the fact that this is only getting 100% at night is fine. I probably should just leave this only going at night. But you know how it goes. Okay, so that's starting to flood. Just turn that off. It retracts very quickly. Yeah, see, these are demanding to be plucked out now. And we are going to be pretty low on food. I know that they always eat in the morning and in the afternoon, so the numbers are going to go down at random times, but probably okay. All right, now I know... Oh, good, they finished. All right, that is just for my paranoia's sake. Okay, it is a seep. I have no reason to believe it changed to a source, but, you know, playing stuff like this really messes with you mentally, especially when, you know, you got people watching that... Apparently, a lot of you have played this map and you have an idea of what kind of misfortune is going to befall me. Okay, we've got this almost... Okay, they're not using all those planks yet, but this will be great to have that taken care of. Did they get this emptied out? Not even a little bit. Okay, well... Wait, did I prioritize it? Well, there's your problem. This honestly isn't the most important thing anymore right now. But if this is not marked for emptying, they're just going to start bringing stuff over here. We probably should build a bridge across here sooner rather than later. Yeah, you know what? Let's see. Can I mean, this is only 2 across right here, which will save me a little bit. But might be a better path, and I know we already have this connected here, but might be a better path long term to just come across here where it's 3 wide. Get a little bit more leeway. Let's just do that. That is a tree that can be cut down. Well, all of these trees can be cut down. We just have to have a beaver who can do that. And I want to keep him out of this sludge until it's, you know, going to be necessary. All right, so pumping has gone well. This is done, which means we can make gears, and hey, that's great. But okay, the demand is only 245. That's fine. This is all well and good. I think I can pause the gear workshop for now and have that not be a problem. The -2 is fine because that's on. Got these guys going. Yeah, you know what? 4 builders right now. We don't have any super active building projects besides this, and that's not mission critical. I'm going to take this out. These 2 right here. Okay, and then I forgot what I was... Okay, that's right. I was going to put these guys in the farmhouse. Because that is going to be a little important. Actually, this one could be planting. This one could be harvesting. I really should have started planting these again. But you already know. Of course, they haven't even started this yet, but that's fine. I've got their... Oh, actually, it's almost done. Let's prioritize that. 0.4 days. They're obviously not going to get this done anytime soon. Or at least not before these trees start popping up. But they're also going to pop up basically at the end or slightly after we get to the end of the day here. So having this ready to go, already marked for cutting, is going to be a smart idea. Let's just make sure those are all taken care of, and they are. I don't need to have this marked for cutting down here. I don't know, it probably doesn't matter. This is one of those things that, like, really early on somebody said, hey, you should, get rid of that because it's going to, whatever it was they said, and I just ended up always doing that. Again, doesn't matter, probably not. Am I going to do it anyway? Yeah, might as well. Alright, so now we're down 3. That's 1, 2 there, and 1 here, which I guess is, well, it's okay. It's not fantastic, but let's get the last of this, power that we can extract here. Get this filled up about as much as we can. It's probably not going to give us too much more. But might as well. I maybe should have turned it on a slight bit earlier. Looks like this is going to peak at just the right time. And how long is the drought? 11 days. Okay. That is actually probably about the sweet spot. So, you'll notice this is not drawing any power whatsoever, so we don't need to worry about shutting it off. Never hurts to verify stuff, though. Not usually. Alright, let's hit pause. Let's take stock of where we are. We don't need to rush. Rushing causes problems. Lumberjack flag is in the process of being finished. That is good. These trees should come online very soon. I misjudged my timing on that, but that actually works out. This guy can replant, and they will, so that's fine. These are growing nicely. We have plenty of berries. This can probably be turned back on at some point soon. These pumps, because everything is full, I'm going to keep paused. And now I can have both of these farmhouses and not have to worry about it. I'm going to re-employ here as builders. Let's just nudge this real quick. There we go. Get that populated. We're down to -2, which is those two not being populated, but that's fine. I want to have my builders on deck ready to go. And now that this is a drought, we are going to eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, empty this out. I'll tell you what, the natural dam is no longer serving a purpose, and as we saw in the last bad tide, this actually causes flooding. So let's demolish this. They should be able to reach both of these without going down, not that they can even get down there anyway. I may need to, yeah, I'm going to put a path to get closer to there. This one is currently inaccessible for the same reason. They can't walk across this because it's a dam. It is not full height. I actually don't know that I can get a path over here without trees being in the way. No, I cannot. Well, that's fine. I only need one. I only need one of these to be gone so I can get this drained a little bit. This is already, believe it or not, dry in here. So, yeah, getting this out sooner rather than later is going to be great. I'm not opening this up yet. We'll talk about that process in just a second, but I need this to be perfectly dry, including what's in here, before I do any of that. And this is flowing out that way. Should not take a super long time. Don't need to have triple speed all the time. We're not in a race. That is being emptied eventually. This is almost full. This is starting to be filled. Looks like we are starting to empty this, and that is fine. The haulers can, keep on doing that. But the issue of food processing is going to start rearing its ugly head. We need to be planting more cassava. I'd kept this open because I thought I was going to be, building some more stuff back here. For right now, that's not the case. I'm going to plant more cassava. in the spaces that it is going to allow me to plant more cassava. And then once we get this cleaned up and hopefully get another aquifer drill here that we can connect to this thing, we're going to be in decent shape. Okay, we're working on getting that out. Very good. Almost. Come on. You know you want to finish this. You know you want to. Oh, come on. It's at 92%. Come on, man. There we go. So just as this dried out. Yeah, but let's get the rest of this out of here. And let's figure out where we're going to get this construction site set up. Obviously, we have to have the path actually connect somewhere. Really? One pine left over here? One pine. Am I going to have to get... I'm going to have to get a lumberjack fly to come collect this because I don't even have a way to... Or actually, could I... Yeah. I'm not going to cry about one log. I'm just not. Okay, this guy's looking decent. Alright, so it's so much more sustainable than sending them over here. It just makes sense. Okay, this is dry. That's good because now we can send somebody down here to get this blocked off. That's going to be a lot more achievable. This can be filled with clean water also because this connects. The water coming in here, we already talked about that. We've got a little bit more work to do before this can really be clean forever. But I think it's going to be smart for us to just get this situated while we can. Just build that and get it done with. I know this is going to flood at some point, but that point is not right now. We will address things in the order of severity that it presents to us. Okay. I just need this to evaporate, and then I'm going to feel comfortable putting stuff down here. Probably going to do that overnight. This, I guess, it might save them like 2 seconds to put the stairs here, so instead I'm just going to put the stairs there. Get that hooked up. Please evaporate before they finish building this. Since I placed this later, I don't think it's going to be first thing they do. Yeah, they're working on this already. That's fine. Yeah, that should be evaporating sometime soon. Got 10 days left. We've got 6 kits currently. Okay, some of those have to be about ready. Okay, 2 of them are. Every beaver that we grow up gets us closer to our goal. These barracks probably should go somewhere else. We'll get there. I am going to, I think, increase the population of haulers before I do too much else. It's probably... No, I need my builders. I have to research the builder's hut, which is why we have not done that yet. But it looks like... Yeah, we're starting on this. I'm just going to speed this up because it's not super danger zone right now. It's about to be dry. Just come on. I need this staircase to basically be complete the second this bad water disappears. Which it looks like we may get to. Basically right there. End of workday. Okay. All right, you know what? Normally I'd be upset they didn't finish this, but that's fine because this will almost certainly be gone by morning. There it goes. Look at that. All right, so this one is not the biggest priority demolition. It will need to be at some point. Now, friends, we got to get all of this, and I think we've got a, not that one. Not that one. This one. There we go. At some point I'll remember how to do this. I have to blast, or not blast, I have to get a path done here, which I could either do 4 straight ahead, or I could do 3 to get to this corner. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I will elect to save the time and do that. Let's get through here. The staircase is going to come up that way. This needs to get all the way here, and then all I've got to do to contain this seep is pop in a levee here. Somebody did make a comment about how we've got dirt accessible, and it's not that expensive to get dirt blocks. It's 1,000 science, so I don't think we're going to be doing that. At least not right now. Also note, 17 gears, helpful to have. Metal blocks, helpful to have. And bad water, very helpful to have, because that means we have bad water before we have metal. That is going to be tremendously helpful. Did we get this? Yes, they are working on that. Okay, that's basically already done. I don't need to pull them off of that. And we have 9 days to get this. It's going to be great having this taken care of. But the rest of this coming up here, not really much else we can do. It's going to be really hard to block this in. At least early. It's probably alright. But I want that to be done. And now that this is dry down here, this can be removed. I cannot get through here until we are absolutely certain that everything is going to be fine coming this way. This is a drain. So as long as we're sure we can in the next 9 days get rid of all 3 of these, which I think the slope... they should be able to do this from beneath, right? There's a slope that is on top of that will have to be removed, and then that, then that, then that. I just have to come through here and I have to get rid of that. We'll pre-build our pathing, so I don't have to worry about that later. And then when this is all removed, I think I just have to put a single piece of, what do you call it here? That'll block this off. Obviously, this will reopen it, but it's 102 days. It's going to be okay. At that point, this can be removed. This natural dam can also be removed. This will hopefully drain out just about all of it. But for now, the big thing is here. There's no need to get to triple speed. At least not right now. I want to make absolutely sure I'm doing the best I can to keep this viable as long as I'm able to. Okay, 15 adults. We got somebody in here. They took a worker away. They shouldn't have done that, but it's alright. I need to get... I have the science, honestly, but I don't have the gears. And I think the gears may be a little bit more useful for doing something else. Like, for example, building an aquifer drill. But we do have to have the metal to do that, which, speaking of... Yeah, I'm going to need 20 gears to build a smelter. That's a much better use of these gears we're about to find. 200 HP is not going to be a problem because we have this here. And also, lest we forget, water power coming through these, and this would be a good opportunity to utilize water power. Right now, I absolutely need to make sure we have this taken care of. I would love to have this aquifer also operating, but for now, I think we just kind of want to keep this as clean as we can. Okay, that's done. That's fantastic news. Very helpful. Berry stash is looking okay, but I probably want to get somebody in here sooner rather than later. The forester is almost finished planting these trees. I'm going to let him, continue doing what he's got to do. I don't think it's time yet to build a second fermenter, but it probably will be. If we can manage to plant any more of this, get any amount of clean water in here whatsoever. Not that one. The discharge could be a good soon unlock, because we don't have to have this entire thing completely full of water. If we just block off, say, like put 4 pieces of levees in here and just dump water in here, that would give us a lot of growable space. And yeah, that should probably be a decent spot, actually. I know we talked about this, but we will we'll evaluate that in time. Whoa, hold on. No. How did this get bad water in it? Where did that bad water come from? Did I was it stuck behind this blockage? Oh, that's exactly what it was, because this is a full height blockage and this is only a natural dam. I hadn't even thought about that. Well, you know it's about to happen, but not yet. That just caught me really off guard. That was a little sad. Okay, well, we have 8.5 days. There shouldn't be any more of that happening. I do need to get them started on this. but this is obviously the most important thing. Okay, I know I keep waffling about this, but I just need to make sure this path is carved for them appropriately. Because, you know, one beaver can basically only do one thing at a time. And I think they should be able to do this from above. Get both of these going at once. I do not want a beaver to get stuck here. So, actually, let's cancel that. Yep, turn back around. No, I need them to get this done before that, so I don't get a beaver stuck down here. Oh, no, where are you going? Don't go in here, man. Oh, I have two on, oh, okay. The game is testing me. The game is testing me. Okay, if I pause the district center, then all the builder jobs immediately stop. Is that a great idea? Maybe not, but it is going to stop our next beavers from getting contaminated in a couple of days. I wish this had not happened. It is about to evaporate though. So we'll you know, just let that be overnight. It is now the end of the workday, so I can unpause this. Otherwise, I absolutely would forget. And that's at 1%. It's fine. Food is slowly climbing. We're still outpacing our growing with the processing. Kohlrabies are not a bad thing to have here, but we just need more cassava. Okay, I'm gonna. You know, I really should let them finish planting the rest of these. I'm going to pause the lumberjack flag and unpause the gatherer flag because honestly, we just need to keep on doing that. Oh, these poor unwell beavers. Poor unwell beavers. Well, the show must go on. Just show me that bad water going away, and then we're going to be... Well, we're not going to be home free because no one's ever home free on this map, but we're going to be in a much better spot. Okay, dawn of day 11. Now they are... This still isn't... Oh, okay, there it goes. Not a moment too soon. Yeah, let's get these projects underway, shall we? 8 days is still plenty of time, but I don't want to take any chances. I want to try and min-max as much of this as we possibly can. Okay, that's done. Now, these can all be removed, and to do that, I will have to give them access down here. Then that can get connected, that can get removed, then these gears can be extracted. Once again, 101 days. These reserve warehouses are also going to be forsaken, so that means they can be yeeted and deleted for extra profit. We'll get those removed. Shouldn't be a priority, but they'll get it done. I will super prioritize doing this. Because I think the guy already got up there on that other side. Get that. I'm not going to prioritize that. Nope, 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 nope. I have to be good. That is not pointed the correct way. There we go. Now I have access over here, which means I can get the stairs. It is not going to take long to put that one piece of levee in, but it does need to be a priority, which it already was. I know I've just prioritized absolutely everything instead of anything that actually matters. But this here is probably going to take longer than doing this. We could handle this in a day and a half. Hopefully not famous last words. How soon are we going to get more adults? Very soon for one, because a couple of these are about to be sent to the farm. How are we doing on... Nope, that needs to be unscrolled. How are we doing on getting this empty? It's coming along. Coming along. So now that we have that, well, not solved yet, partially fixed, this is going to massively improve drainage of this river, which is going to be nice. Probably... Oh. You know, this is exactly what that person was talking about, and I somehow completely missed it. Fortunately, this is not going to be hard to solve, and I can do it. I am pretty confident from down... Okay, not all of it from down there, but not going to be that big of a deal. Let's... Glad I noticed this. If you've already written a comment about this, I want you to know that I care about you and I appreciate your persistence. But we got it figured out. And I just need to... Because they're not going to be able to go up that far, I just need to put in a platform here that should still be within range when that gets built. We have planks. We do not have a lot of logs to get that accomplished, which probably should be a concern for getting this done. Again, we have 7.4 days for this, and then this one, I don't remember this one being activated. Okay, this map is sneaky. Because the game only shows you... This is probably how this happened before. The game only shows you the soonest one. It doesn't tell you have other ones. That's devious. That is devious. What's back here before it? Okay, nothing. You know, we probably also... Once we can confirm this isn't going to be flooded, probably want to get in here and get some of the stuff. Coffee beans, canola seeds, more scrap metal. And this, as far as I know, yeah, we'd have to go up. Well, I am glad that we've been paying attention in the comments, and I'm glad that I managed to notice that. Because boy, oh boy, would that have been cataclysmic disaster. I'm going to have to just keep clicking on this to make sure that it hasn't, you know, accidentally activated. Okay, that's empty. We did take care of that. That's good. Baby steps. Baby steps. Nighttime we can speed through, no problems, though. This is still in the process of being worked on. 61%. Yeah, see, this does take a little bit of time. 160. Got a 39 of those. Okay, we're looking all right. Water is still pretty good. This guy is going to be retired so he can go and do something else, like maybe... No, builders are full. Is it time to start adding additional haulers yet? Probably not. Okay, this is now able to be popped in. They probably are going to continue working on this. Okay. We're getting there. Once again, 100 days. I'm saying that for myself, not so much the people who commented about it. I do try not to throw shade at people whenever I can possibly avoid it. But that's not a problem yet. Okay, so now I've got... Why do I have 3 beavers doing this? I only have 2 haulers. I hope he's not drinking out of this. Well, this is a farmer carrying water. Alright, oh, that's right. Farmers do that, don't they? Well, this will be empty pretty soon. We need to build another barracks. I don't have enough logs for that yet. Let's hit pause so we don't waste time. I know I've got these. Are they marked for cutting? They are. Okay. This is paused because I was having him gather berries. Alright. This is probably okay to turn on because it's closer than these are, even if this has slightly better trees to harvest for, I almost said money. Harvest for wood. There's also logs over here that could be pretty easily reached. Are these marked for cutting? They are not. Okay, well, autosave, thank you. We know how to solve that problem, don't we? Anything else they can reach over here? No, not really. All right, you are unpaused. And then as this continues to get cut down, I'll be able to get closer to this stockpile, which are actually not that far away from being able to do. I know the pathing is atrocious. Look, it's just going through the forest. That's the way it has to go. But now I think they should be probably focusing on building this, but I also have 14 days and I only have another 6.7 days for this. They apparently cannot delete this from above, which is interesting because I always thought they could, or maybe they have to be standing next to. That's probably what it is. I know this is not a great routing. All right, now still 0. Can't get required materials. We are going to have to make a choice here. Maybe I do. Okay, if I got a beaver in here, first of all, easy solution, pause the lumber mill. Second easy solution, swap this guy back. Third easy solution, just bite the bullet and turn these lumberjack flags back on, man. What are you doing? I'm gonna pause the second farmhouse because there's not really much to be harvested, and that should equalize us. Just really don't want to have this fall apart because I mismanaged my wood here. Never mismanage your wood. Always closely and carefully manage your wood. 21%, 0%. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. I don't think there's any more wood I can really pick up. Yeah, they're going to run out of stuff to cut down eventually as well. Oh, they they cut down the succulents, of course. Of course they did. 6 days left. We probably are going to keep most of this water in here. I don't need to pump because we still have a decent amount. This is basically still full. This should be empty, actually. Almost. I'm not going to tear this down because we might want that capacity later. We haven't researched the large ones yet. They're medium. Oh, okay, that's done. That's a huge, huge weight off our shoulders here. This is going to be flooded with bad water, and we probably should extract the gears. I, however, do not have storage for said gears. So, I should not be using the logs for this at this exact moment in time. But well, I'm going to need storage for the gears anyway. 15 logs. Is that going to be fast enough? How have they gotten on this? 6 out of 12. Okay, that's all right. That's all right. We're going to be fine. I should just go ahead and build a medium warehouse for gears. This is not irrigated right now. This is probably the best spot to put this at this exact moment in time. So that's what I'll do. Not a huge priority. I do need them to do this as fast as I possibly can, which that is okay. They're going to work on that. That has been finished. But yes, I know we don't need the bad water yet. It'd be nice to have, but I'm not going to, risk the beavers getting even more infected. Contaminated, not infected. It's not Halo 2 custom games. Gears. Gears are important, though. Especially because we're also going to get these. I'm just very paranoid about this now. 31%. Okay. I want to make sure I don't have these guys running for no wood here. Need those cut down. Probably important. Yeah, you are hungry and you're thirsty. Are you a hauling beaver? You probably are. No, you are a... Oh, you're contaminated. You poor soul. Well, don't do that next time. Simple as that. Okay, this is about to be done, and... No, I wanted that to be done. There, we're going to hit pause because I want to make sure I've got this all set up correctly. Oh, I didn't need that, but it doesn't matter. This is now super prioritized. This needs to be set to empty, but it has to have somewhere to go, which means I need to have this warehouse built. That is a critical construction project that is finished. This one is also a critical construction project, but it's about to... Oh, okay, no, they can just do this first. That's fine. That will be okay. We have 5.6 days. Oh, it's another long episode. Oh, they're doing this anyway. It's fine. It's fine. They are getting there. Getting there, getting there, getting there. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The gears are accessible. As soon as that's done, if we're feeling nasty, we can get the... why did I say that? If we're excuse me. If we're feeling nasty, we can get the scrap metal from this, which, might as well. But not going to be a huge loss if I just put a thing here to block that off. I want to believe that we're actually in a good spot. Are we? Oh, good. That's taken care of. It's just going to be, kind of polluted over here, but that's the way it goes. This should be empty. Yes, it is. Very good. That is still paused. I could have had beavers up here doing that, but I figured that was probably too far away. 2 contaminated beavers to the farm upstate. And now we have that. We have 2 homeless beavers here because of course they are, and then we have 1 homeless beaver here because we need to build more barracks, but I need to use the wood. Wait, they already built that. Okay. Well, I think now it's probably about time to get a couple more beavers in the hauling post to help us empty those things. Yep, that's going there. Metal blocks should be emptied. I have nowhere to put the bad water, so that's fine to leave alone. Still have enough water in here. You are injured. Well, stop that. We have beds here for just such an occasion. I feel bad about those guys, but, you know, it is what it is. I can't remember if I already mentioned this or not, but somebody said, hey, why don't you put some inventor huts over here and have them actually do some work. They're not going to work. They basically can't because they are contaminated and they are going to die. But we can conveniently ignore that because now it is time to get the rest of this hooked back up. These are marked for cutting. They'll get to it eventually, but then we'll have a closer path to this water thing. We could also put some water wheels here, 3 across, get a decent bit of power. Might be a decent place to put a, what do you call it here when we get the science? Which I'm not unlocking a bunch of stuff right now because I don't want to do that unnecessarily. Yes, eventually we're going to straighten the paths out. It's just not even remotely necessary right now. This is all dry, which is nice, but it also, you know, doesn't tell me what is going to be contaminated when this stops. These are concerning. Bad tide drains being dormant. You know, Streamer Brain currently is... Okay, no, that means they just haven't. I was going to say Streamer Brain, if I can pronounce my R's correctly, is a real thing that affects people who are trying to make videos about stuff. It causes you to, you know, prioritize things differently and miss things that might seem obvious to viewers who have the option to pause and rewind. But these have not been activated yet, and when those do, they are going to add a not insignificant quantity of bad water, and we need to make sure we know where that's going. Directly off the edge of the map. Okay, maybe not at a tremendously fast rate, but they do have some escape path. Okay, still emptying that. That's fine. That's why I had a couple more of those haulers put in. Regarding buildings, maybe now would be a 77 gears. All right. Maybe now would be a decent time to come over here and get, you know, actually, we don't need a second aquifer drill here yet. Now would probably be a good time to instead put one over here. But no, the metal blocks need to be used for other stuff. Okay, good. That still isn't activated yet. Did we empty this? Not yet. That is empty, though, so that's fine. We can leave that alone. Yeah, I should probably just stop worrying about it and just let it go. Well, it's almost nighttime anyway. Okay. Okay. This is underneath. We're accumulating gears. This is still paused. That's fine. That's fine to be paused. Yeah, we really want to be expanding our farmland as much as we can. Let's get this replanted. I mean, we're doing okay on food. It's, what, 4 or 5 days worth, but really could use additional land. Which makes me think this probably is pretty important. But remember what I said about unlocking the, whatever they call this thing now. Formerly known as a fluid dump, now it's a discharge. Yeah, honestly, I think it's going to be the best spot for our circumstances right now. This is going to be one of the best spots, and it will be cheaper science-wise. You know, 250 science is significant, but having discharges is going to allow us to move to other spots on the map, make pools up here maybe. So I think it is science well spent. I'm not going to do it yet. I want to make absolutely sure there's nothing else I should be unlocking. Builder set might be a good unlock with 100, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. We already have levees, already have dams. Dynamite I don't even have right now. We're going to want to at some point, though. Impermeable floors require metal we don't have. The only other thing that I think would make sense would be to unlock the smelter now. instead of unlocking the fluid dump, but we do not have unlimited time to scale our food, and we need to get our population up. So I do think, for right now, it's going to make the most sense to get this discharge unlocked. And we're not going to need a deep bad water pump quite yet either, because we have bad water there. Not that we're really doing anything anyway. Yeah, let's do this. Let's just get this done. I can have this very conveniently put in here. Technically, the pure 3x3 is the best for evaporation. This extra little jog isn't going to be that big of a deal, but I'm going to... I'm going to... yeah, I really shouldn't be this worried about this. We'll build that. We'll build that later. I'm not going to worry about putting that corner in. Maybe I should put a levee out. You know what? You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I have enough planks. Probably not worried. You know what? No. Nope. I cannot be beholden to this my entire life. I just need to do it. So this just needs to be discharged. This will be paused so they don't, you know, actually start discharging when they're not supposed to be. That is empty. Very good. Remove and obtain. Please and thank you. You have 3.6 days. Thank you, beautiful beavers, for taking care of this before it became an absolute crisis. Nightmare. Okay, still working on this. Oh, this is just outside of the range here. Okay, well, for the sake of the beavers' efficiency, I think I can move this to be here. Yeah. Let's, I guess I can just leave this here. This probably isn't the most important thing ever, but it can probably be built quickly. And then once that's done, I can move this around. Yeah, I'll just come pick that up. This is going to help that be just a little bit faster. Just a little bit. Okay, they already have that one done, which is nice. I do realize isolating this is not ideal, but it's going to be okay. This is going to irrigate a lot of stuff without us having to spend a bunch of resources that we maybe should do something else with. Okay, berries are fine for our current reproduction needs. It is probably pretty quickly going to be time for another barracks. I don't want to keep these too far away, but I also don't want it to be somewhere we could otherwise, you know, plant stuff. Because that is going to be something that is going to be a concern. Although, honestly, this is already kind of out of range. I will put... right here probably doesn't matter. This is all going to be irrigated eventually anyway, right? I'll just put this here. It's close enough. It's fine. It's not the most important thing. I will deprioritize it, but we are going to have that done. Okay, so this is going to be pretty close there. I don't really need to worry about that much. But again, it would be nice to have the extra scrap metal. Might as well, you know, out of sight, out of mind, as they say, might as well just get this knocked out. I need to make sure I put right here in that spot the levee, so that blocks that, and then this can drain that way. I don't need to go down here this way, because that's not going to solve any problems, unless I wanted to just drain here. Which probably, yeah, we can, I know, it just helps me. I know it sounds stupid. It helps me think when I pause the game. If I get rid of this, that can also drain through here. This drains out. This is a dam. There's no chance I'm spending the time to walk all the way back through here. We'd have to do it from inside. Let's just take a moment. Those are active, yeah. It would not be that hard to get back in here. During a temperate season, this will also be full. I probably should have sent beavers down in here, but we'll know for the next drought that we can do that. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this as is. We know that's taken care of just fine. I guess they're going to start building that at some point soon. This is almost done. I guess they're still working on it. I did tell them to come grab these things, so that's probably what they're doing, is prioritizing that. Okay. Do I need to remove these? No, I do not. Am I going to anyway? Yes, I am, because I can. So now I think it was this exact spot here that I needed to put that. Yes, it was. Okay, that's going to help. That's going to drain. This is already a hole. It will also collect some bad water, so I don't need to plug this up. That'll help it drain. As long as this one just gets built, I am going to super prioritize that because it's very important, but as long as that gets built, that's fine. These can wait a little bit. We have a decent amount of logs. This is starting to get pretty barren here. But now we do have water accessible. Not a ton of water accessible, but that is accessible, so we might as well at some point make use of that. Not the worst thing ever if we get so much water pumped that we have to fill this up, so I will just get that popped in there. I know this is suboptimal routing. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. I've avoided pumping, like I said, to keep this irrigated as long as possible. 2.5 days, not going to kill berries, not going to kill beavers, trees, or anything like that, so I think it is now fine. Once I get this absolutely mission-critical piece of infrastructure constructed to get those pumps switched back on, again, confirm this is fine. This seep, I think, is the one activating in 4 days, and it is. Yep, that's taken care of. We got 96 days of this left. We will need to make plans probably in 2 cycles for that. We can make them sooner than that, but we'll need to enact them at that point in time. I'm going to need to make a choice about getting rid of this before this starts. I feel like there's not really any reason not to. It's already the end of the day here. Yeah, because this is going to take me a little bit of time to get done. I really don't see a downside to getting rid of this overhang. Because we were not pathing on top of it. Or I guess it could have been this one too. But any amount of bad water that can be drained before it gets here is potentially good. Unless we want to harvest it for the purpose of power generation. Which you were probably already saying. Well, if you're going to do that... Okay, these beavers are now keeling over here. That's fine. If you're going to be taking bad water out this way, then you don't want to be building your water wheels here because there's not going to be that much left. Well, you would be correct. So instead... I feel like it's... I know, that's always the kiss of death. I feel like it's fine. Alright. Nope, let's pause so I can think. If I get rid of this... I mean, it's a one-wide tunnel, but this is 1.1, and the waterfall limit isn't really a thing anymore. This is a natural dam, so it will fill up before it goes out, but this is not impeded. So that's unrestricted. That is restricted. This also comes back through here, but that doesn't lead out. I feel like the inbound volume is going to be too much for this to drain regardless. I just have to figure out if the potential loss of water wheel power making, which for the next 95 days is not exactly a problem, but will be, is worth not having that extra drainage. But I feel like as soon as I don't... Oh, this is a hugely long episode now. Oops. I just glanced over at OBS. It says 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 48 seconds. Okay, well, I guess we should wrap this up. But I think it makes sense to just go ahead and get rid of this and not stress out about it. That is probably what's going to make the most sense. So feel free to, tell me I made a mistake. That's always allowed. But I'm going to have them do this, and I'm going to have them focus on it. Okay, still working on those trees there. We're not out. But yeah, I really want this to be up and running. And this is something that can only be done during the drought. So I'm just going to have them do it. I said I was going to have these guys pump, but I need all 4 of these beavers to be working on that. Oh, that went way faster than I thought it would. Okay. Well, that's fine. And, worst comes to worst, and I mean absolute worst, I can always just put a couple of... Actually, I probably just put one levee right here. If it ends up being a horrible idea, I can refill that. It's not going to be a huge deal. That's done. Let's get this going. This is already marked fine. Yeah, there's no more mission critical construction projects. This one's obviously important, but it's also almost done. So it is time for pumping. That, I think, should be okay. Let's just verify. I know, probably already looked at it, but... Okay, good. Empty, empty. Don't care. That's blocked off. There is no other way for bad water to escape that, and that is a seep anyway, so it's going to be fine. We blocked off the other two over here that were going to cause problems. We've got kits coming out now. We've got more adult beavers. Yeah. I am cautiously feeling pretty good about this. So, next things we need to do. I am very aware we do not have tanks near the water pumps. Thus far, it has not really been that much of a concern for me. But I know that, it's bothers some people, and we do actually need a closer one. So I will put one here, and then we can probably... It's not really crazy important right now, but we could probably prioritize those as we get more haulers in here. This one now has nothing to do. This one's about to be finished, and it's probably going to throw that sign up. Yep, and there we go. These can be removed. If we are absolutely min-maxing our pathing, then yes, we can straighten it out, save the beavers 0.05 seconds of travel time. This is blocked off. That was a very important thing. Still don't know when this is going off, but I finally, at this moment, feel pretty safe. Famous last words. Hopefully not, but I feel pretty safe about where we are. So, as I, cross over into the 1 hour 22 minute mark, it's time to end the episode. I always appreciate you guys watching. I genuinely do. Even if, you're one of the people that watches this and says, this guy's an absolute moron, he has no idea what I'm doing. Well, yeah, okay, that hurts a little bit. But I can understand why you feel that way, seeing some of the mistakes I'm making. Just remember, I'm not editing out anything that I'm doing. I'm not, going back and changing saves or whatever. I'm a dude with a lot of attention span problems, playing the beaver game on the internet and focusing mostly on having fun. And that is, that's going to yield these kinds of results. But I do appreciate you guys supporting the playthrough. Beard boosters, you already know. I think I forgot to read them out in one of the most recent videos. I still put them up on the screen, though. The folks who contribute to the channel financially make it so I don't have to worry quite as much about the YouTube algorithm, and I can continue to invest a couple hours every day into playing with the beavers instead of, quote-unquote, going to get a real job. And, well, I already have a couple of those. Anyway, rambling aside, I really appreciate the folks who are invested in keeping the channel just the way it is, so I don't have to have sponsors, I don't have to do any of this other nonsense. I just enjoy having a good time talking to you guys and, trying some stuff that I haven't done in the beaver game. Even though I've been playing a long time, I know I'm not the best player, I'm not the most methodical player, but I always have a good time, and that's what matters. So, as we finish up this drought, we are going to say bye to the beavers for now. We'll be back in this playthrough, I think, Tuesday, and then we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, I really appreciate you. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.